Yeti X. Oh, there we go. Hello! Hello and welcome to the Shark Stream. I actually need 1 second. There is a cat crying outside my door. Give me a moment. They missed me so much. It was very easy, in fact. Okay, let me go ahead and just make sure I reset myself here properly. Buoyant. Alright. Hello and welcome to the Shark Stream. It's me, it's your boy, it's Gage, aka Acid Shark. And I am not at liberty to discuss how many hours of sleep I'm working off of right now. It's not much. But yeah, welcome to the first Shark Stream post-PAX. We had our last Shark Stream pre-PAX East 2025. We had one mid-PAX East 2025 stream, which is still kind of buck wild. Is it 4 hours? You're kind of highballing it. And then, of course, this is going to be our first post-PAX East 2025 stream. And I am... Oh, I'm so excited to talk about it. We're going to be playing Forspoken today, which is maybe going to put a damper on my mood. What's up? Okay, 1 second. Huh? You want me to hear it? Do you want me to do you want me to mute? Okay. She's done yet. Oh, she's done. Okay. I pre-gamed the stream by watching the Minecraft movie, so at least now I can get Schadenfreude. Well, I mean... Chicken Jockey. Flint and Steel. This is a crafting table. La 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 lava. Chicken. Steve's lava chicken. Yeah, it's tasty as hell. Okay, I'm gonna stop that before Natalie gets really mad at me. Because she's already gotten it stuck in her head, and she hates that. She's not looking at me. I don't think she was paying attention. But yes. God. Forspoken. I don't remember how Forspoken plays. I'm not going to be able to remember how to play Forspoken. You can smell how badly they wanted Sneak Attack to be the funny meme. But that's the thing! It kind of is! Like, that final, like, Sneak Attack is actually that's, like, one of, like, the 3 moments in that movie that actually got a laugh out of me. Was that entire sequence right at the end with whatever the fuck her name was. I don't remember the main villain's name. All I can remember is General Chungus. Because they thought they were being so funny. But do you get how I'm, like, it's like the Lego movie if the Lego movie had no soul, basically. Or emotional beats or payoff. So you may notice something behind me here. Friend of the stream Audrey sent me a tweet about this is the art that the Final Fantasy artist Amano did for the Gex trilogy release, and God, I might need to get the Tail Time edition for that box. It's so good art. Didn't I tag you in that post? You might have. But here's the thing. When Audrey sent it to me, they suggested that I put it in the background of my my pre-stream. I'm just like, I've got all this fucking wall space. I might as well throw some shit up there. And what better thing to do that with first than... Ugh. Well, no. I shouldn't say good, because it's actually really incredible. Like, look at that shit. For Gex! Gex doesn't deserve this. Gex deserves far less. This shit rules. You're correct. Oh man, I got a few of them. As most do. So I went to PAX East. I have a couple things on my desk from the convention. I've got, I got the Pyramid Head plush from the Fan Gamer booth. The Penny Arcade merch booth was selling things from previous PAXs at a discount. And I got a big old desk mat that says, "In space, no one can hear you stream," which I thought was, oh, just so clever. But yeah, you may be wondering what PAX was like. Especially if you are one Kalen_Stereo who was at FWA all weekend. But mine is... I too have merch from the comic. Mine is furrier. There actually was a panel called Is It Furry that unfortunately I wasn't able to make it to, but I had a really good reason for not being able to make it, which will be covered in... Acid Goes to PAX East 2025! Check it out, I'm not using a template this time. Aren't you proud of me? Did I tell you I got hit on at FWA because my eyeshadow game was too strong? Incredible. Incredible. I'm happy for you. Hold on, this transition's kind of a long one. I think it's done. Part 0. Setting the atmosphere. This ain't my first rodeo. Alright, the first one doesn't go automatically. I still gotta click. My history with PAX, specifically East. I went to the first PAX East in 2010 at the Heinz Convention Center while going to college in Massachusetts. Shout out to... I'm not going to actually say what my college was. I went to the con several... my partner at the time gifted the pass to me. They managed to get a hold of a 3-day pass for PAX East back in 2010. And was just like, "Hey, do you want it?" I'm just like, "Fuck yeah." Gage, I think we went to the same PAX. No shit! That's cool. I went to the con several more times, even after moving out of Massachusetts. Most notably, met up in real life with my lovely wife, Natalie, for the first time when she went with me to PAX East in 2015, which was a bit of a scramble. I'm not going to bother you with the details, but we made it work, and now we have been together for 10 years. My mnemonic device for remembering how long we've been together was that our first movie date was Forspoken, which came out in 2015. Isn't that fun? Quick aside note though, PAX West 2016 is when I proposed to Natalie. Here is a picture of me at PAX East 2015 as seen in the video Best Friends vs. PAX East 2015. You can find that on YouTube. It's a good clip. I was really excited to be a part of that. Anyways. Part 1. Departure. Our long journey begins. Roll. Fucking look at that. So as a reminder, we did drive up to Boston from Texas. It was a long drive. Sharkbacks, do you know Texas is fucking huge? Thankfully, we didn't have to drive across Texas. We just had to... You think so? I thought Alabama, like, on our way back was, like, just went on for fucking ever. But Pennsylvania was pretty long, actually. Our quest... Yeah. Oh god, the construction. Our quest was long and arduous. 13 hours to Alabama, resting for the night, then another 20 hours up to Boston, switching drivers every so often. Everything seems so small when face to face with the immensity of nature. Not insignificant, but approachable, solvable. It's life-affirming. But enough about that. Part 2. Initiation. We about to go East mode. I worked really hard to put all of this together today, so you all need to appreciate this. Thursday, first day of the con. My first panel on Thursday was Your Right Hand Comes Off, Video Games and Camp. Very interesting discussion about both the history of camp and artifice and how it applies to video games. All about, it's the same sort of thing that I've said about, like, the story cannot take is allowed to not take itself seriously, but the characters have to. So, like, you can have, like, one of the big games that they talked about was Bayonetta. You've got Bayonetta, like, prancing around, doing all these, like, crazy sexy moves, and, it's, you know, she's hamming it up, but within the world, everyone treats it dead serious, everything that's happening. We see camp primarily, as this presentation stated, through the lenses of drag, Catholicism, and the military. They use a few different examples for this, with focuses on each of those. Bayonetta was the sort of camp via drag, where she kind of represents this sort of, like, heightened femininity that, like, drag queens will go for. Dante's Inferno was camp through the lens of Catholicism, with, like, you know, you fucking blast demons with the true cross. You collect 30 pieces of silver over the course of the game. There are references to the works of Hieronymus Bosch, who drew some wacky shit, but was entirely serious when he did so. Regardless of what it seems at glance. I must sow the cross into my flesh to show my devotion to God. The saints around me in a circle, nodding seriously. Oh god, I love Dante's Inferno so fucking much. I can't tell you how excited I was when they showed the list of games that they were going to be talking about for this, where, like, Bayonetta, Dante's Inferno, and Resident Evil 4... Like, I knew Resident Evil 4 just because of the quote that was used in the title of the panel. But, like, seeing at a minimum 3 games that I know, like, front to back, was so good, because it's just like, I can engage with this properly. They also talked about Command & Conquer Red Alert 2, which is hilarious, but is also camped through the lens of the military. I don't know if you know this, the military, kind of fucking weird, honestly. When you really kind of get down to brass tacks and think about it, the military is kind of fucking weird. And sometimes games like to play with that. And then Resident Evil 4 kind of brings it all together. They talk about how, like, Leon S. Kennedy is kind of a subversion of, like, the sassy gay best friend trope, sort of, while also kind of playing it straight. It was a very interesting talk. The next thing, I should probably... Hold on, I'm gonna turn off... I don't want to capture my cursor. Thank you. Hello? Ah, here we go. The next panel I checked out was the Furious 7 out of 10. Best games don't have to be AAA. This is an example of the sort of game that they showed. This kind of made me want this Carmen Sandiego game. I might need to, like, get friend of the stream Audrey on for this one, considering that they, you know, worked on the show. You know, affirmed my enjoyment of mid yet interesting experiences in gaming. No one brought up Deadly Premonition, which is in my mind a clear oversight. I got to go up to the mic, give my own personal 7 out of 10, which is hold on, I gotta move my fucking huge ass ponytail out of the way. Dead Space 3. I won a Dungeons and Dragons coloring book. They had like a raffle. Where just like anybody who went up to give like their personal 7 out of 10 was in a raffle for a whole slew of prizes. A lot of the cooler prizes came after I won, which, you know, and I do like the Dungeons & Dragons coloring book, though. It's neat. It's free shit, you know? It's free. It's free. The next one was Folding Ideas presents Call of Duty Ghosts, Power Paranoia, and Orbital Tungsten Rods. There's Dan Olson. I got to talk to him. It was pretty cool. He's a nice guy. Crystal was there too. I'm gonna have a little bit of a thing to talk about with regards to that, but I think me and Natalie got to I feel give her a little bright spot in the day. Not that I think she was having a bad time, but you know, it was I felt good after doing it. This was one of the big ones I wanted to see. I'm a huge fan of Folding Ideas. Lots of discussion on the technical state of the game, the way it's set pieces strung together, the way it's just set pieces strung together by a non-linear narrative that doesn't make any fucking sense. There was the big push for Call of Duty Dog that you get for like 3 whole levels. If you don't remember Call of Duty Dog, that was another Best Friends thing during their machinima days. Racism, weird psychosexual machismo vis-a-vis orbital tungsten rods that also dovetails into racism. Why does a Black Ops team of 15 dudes have special funerary rites when none of them have actually died until the events of the story? Like, were they in fact sitting around their bunk just being like, yo, dude, what if one of us dies? Dude, we gotta have the coolest fucking funerals. It's gonna be so dope. You can watch it online. Am I allowed to? Hold on, I can't copy paste it, unfortunately. But go type in that URL. Memorize this URL and go type it in. I got to ask Dan to compare and contrast this game with An American Tail for the PS2, which I did mistakenly refer to in my question as Fievel Goes West like 2 or 3 times, because that's my primary reference for An American Tail, considering it was the one I had on VHS growing up. Dan did not correct me, and in fact, did go on to refer to it as Fievel Goes West in his response. So, I mean, he knew what I was talking about, and I do appreciate that. This video isn't available anymore. I was just looking at it earlier today. Did you type capital I, L, T, capital W, capital G, O, or did you do 2 L's or 2 I's? Because that's a capital I after the lowercase b, followed by a lowercase l. I did 2 lowercase l's. That would do it. That would probably cause the issue. But yeah, my question is after the guy who asks about Call of Duty reducing world politics to 5 angry dudes in most of its entries. The next panel I saw that day was Yellow Paint Good, Witcher 3 Bad, our worst gaming takes. This is relevant. Quiet from Metal Gear was discussed. It still says unavailable. I'm just gonna go to the PAX page. For some reason they uploaded 2 copies of it. I don't know if maybe they took down the copy that I'm gonna make a whole highlight out of this, and I will put links to anything that is actually uploaded in the description. This one was fine. There was some crossover with the presenters from the 7 out of 10 panel. I think there were like 2 or 3 people from that panel who were also on this one. Very interesting discussions regarding like signposting, weapon durability, the pushback against objectified female characters in games, overcorrecting to an almost anti-sex stance in some cases, characterized by the panel's resident goth girl, who probably isn't a murderer, as Gooner Rights, which I inherently respect, but God, I wish she'd have called it literally anything else. I famously do not like the term goon in this context. They asked for other people's takes. I didn't really have one at the time. I have thought of one since then. If you've ever said, I would enjoy this game if it wasn't called franchise. Silent Hill is one that comes up a lot, where it's just like later Silent Hill games where it's like, I would like this game, but it's not Silent Hill. And it's just, you're lying. You're not being truthful. The only reason you're even talking about it is because it's part of a franchise. If it had not been part of a franchise, you probably would not have even touched it. That is my hot take. Like, how many fucking games out there are just like straight up ripoffs of like Castlevania, Legend of Zelda, and nobody fucking talks about them? So goddamn many. But if it was a Legend of Zelda game, you'd be talking about it. Look at fucking Faces of Evil. We're still talking about Faces of Evil fucking decades after the fact because it has like the Legend of Zelda branding on it. Anyways, that's my hot take. On Thursday, we took note of a pizza place across from town. Friday. First panel on Friday was Seeing Ourselves Before Understanding Ourselves. Trans joy in the gaming world. Listen, okay, I'm still figuring things out. Make no assumptions based on the fact that I went to this panel. If I just don't do it. They actually kind of did talk about like how they didn't like the phrase egg cracking on this panel, but also acknowledge that like they really don't have like a better alternative to describe the specific phenomenon that was that describes basically. Honestly, just sort of a nice panel to sit in on. The panel is just sort of discussing their experiences being trans in gaming. Some of them were more recently out than others. I think there was one who had only been publicly out as trans for about a year. With everything going on, it's nice to see that this sort of joy is still possible in the world. Again, it's just there. I feel like there was a lot of affirmation for me and for just kind of like things. There's a panel I forgot about. The first panel I think we actually went to on Thursday was about careers in gaming, where they acknowledge that, like, yeah, we're getting a shitload of layoffs, but given the direction that the industry seems to be going in, we may see a lot of those jobs come back. We may see like a more resurgence within the indie and AA space now that people are losing God knows how much money on failed live service games. So that was also was a little bit hopeful. But yeah, that was a nice panel. It wasn't. I don't feel like it was as kind of like directly engaging as some of the other panels. It was basically just 5 people sitting at a table discussing the topic, as opposed to like trying to teach me something like some of these other panels were. The next one that I went to was Streaming for Fun and Rarely Profit. I did not take a picture of this one, unfortunately. This was the first of 2 major streaming-focused panels that I had wanted to hit up over the course of the weekend. A lot of focus on managing expectations, making sure that you're first and foremost in it for the love of the game, which, if you tuned in for my last PowerPoint, you know I am. Don't overspend if you don't think you can commit to it. Remain consistent. Only push for partner if you know you can hit those metrics, which is why I'm not out here doing a partner push. I am comfortably affiliate right now. Nothing too radical. Pretty straightforward. Maybe not as straightforward as the next one that I saw, I think the next day, but we'll get to that. Folding Ideas presents Silk Posting and the Culture of Trolling. Wait, hold on, he had a second? He had 2 panels? Okay. Yeah, I only knew about the Call of Duty Ghost one because that was the only one that he announced on Blue Sky when it was confirmed. The Trans Gamer panel sounds like the furry trans man, which was good shit to just listen. Yeah. Didn't Titanfall 3 get canceled? Yeah, okay. So this is less of a deep dive dissection, more this shit is hilarious. How did this happen? This is basically all about how the Silksong community kind of naturally developed a culture of just internal trolling, just like constantly coming up with like fake announcements and shit like that. So this was kind of like a second layer to that, where it's not just shit posting about the fact that Silksong isn't out yet, but it's shit posting about the fact that another game that also is not coming out may or may not have gotten announced before Silksong. Skongers are on the copium spice. Yeah, exactly. This was a really funny panel, in which Dan Olsen forgets to request the 13 plus label for his panel and unwittingly includes several examples he is unable to give further context for. There is a jar joke where somebody has a large Hornet figurine, and it's just like, there is not a jar big enough to contain this. My music just stopped. Hold on. Put that on a fucking loop. And then there was one that just said like plap, 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 get released, get released, get released, get released. And Dan had to sit there trying to hold back his laughter and being like, I can't explain the context of this to you. I can't explain why this one is funny. And it was honestly fantastic. It's not available online, despite being in the we're streaming stuff in this theater. Hello, Xanda. Welcome. You're just in time. I'm only like on the second, going over the second day of PAX. Next panel was the Jackbox Party Packs. Not too much to say here. It's Jackbox, played by some of the prominent guests at the convention. Jerry Holkins was there, Chris Straub, Ife Nwadiwe, a couple other people whose names I don't remember. It was fun. We got some good jokes in there. There was one where it was just like, there was a phrase that was just like, all-you-can-eat crab buffet. And they had to add a phrase in order to ruin that, which was in Oklahoma. We got to see a new game that's being released in Jackbox 11. That's pretty neat. That's this game that I have right here. I don't fucking remember what the name of it was, but that's what was the in Oklahoma bit, where it's just like, you're given a phrase or an item that brings joy, and you have to ruin it. It seems really good. And its primary character is Jim Reaper. We wanted pizza, but the pizza place was closed by the time we got back to our hotel. Saturday. The busiest day of the con. Jesus Christ. Basics of VTubing. So this was the only panel that I got to on this date. They weren't kidding. Those VTubing can basics. It's a lot of stuff that honestly I was really just kind of already sort of aware of. Finding artists commissioned for models, PNG tubers are absolutely VTubers. Nothing groundbreaking. All stuff I have more or less been through already. You know, I started out with my just kind of like animated PNG tuber from the good folks over at Team Capital, Aubrey and B, two of my goodest friends. And now I'm here today with a 3D VTuber that I am pretty excited about. I did find out about a newer program for 3D VTubers that one of the panelists' spouse made. I found out that there's also like a couple other ones. There's one that's being used by a VTuber named Bonicula, who I saw on my Skyline recently talking about. There's a whole thing going on in VTubing recently. I don't want to get into it right now, because if I go off on a tangent now, we're not going to get through the PowerPoint. before we're through like our first hour. But remind me once we get into gameplay so that I can bring Forspoken to a dead stop instead. But they showed off the program that Bunnicula uses, and it's practically coding. Like, it is so involved. It's a little intimidating. But the program that was created by one of the panelists' spouse is actually designed to be used in conjunction with VC-Face, which is what I use. So it's something that I might look into. I did write the name down. And yeah. And then one of the panelists also did her own rigging, so she went over a bunch of like things about like rigging programs and stuff like that. I took some pictures of that part of the panel to send to friend of the stream Audrey, who I know is looking into that. Does Forspoken need help doing that? Yeah, occasionally. This was the only time during the con where we very nearly had an embarrassing Q&A moment. So if you're not familiar with this, if you haven't been to a lot of panels at cons, there is the any sort of panel that has like a Q&A segment, there's the ever-present threat of somebody going up there and just quite honestly making an ass of themselves. It's the type of people that's just like, I don't have a question, I have more of a story. Or they're trying to like be the fourth McElroy. Or they are just, like, completely fucking cheap viewers on streamboo.com. Goodbye? They're just completely fucking botching it. We played an entire Forspoken stream a couple weeks back without any actual goddamn gameplay. And for this one, there was the very first person who got up to that mic was just like, yo, I wanted to ask you guys, I have a collab idea. And it's just like, my guy, this is not the time or the place for this. And they didn't say that. They were very polite about that, and I really appreciate that. I should say the name of some of those people. Hold on. I took down some of their names. I want to check out some of their streams soon, ideally. Hold on. There was cat petting. There was. I did pet cats. I tried to put together a kitty petted Dark Souls thing, but it wasn't working out, unfortunately. Ooh, can we raid any today? Maybe, if any of them are streaming. I'll have to look that up once we get there. But it was, the streamers' handles were Goggle Candy, Queenie BB, X Saris, and Mink the Satyr. X Saris was the one on the panel representing the 3D VTubers. She was the one whose spouse created the program that works in conjunction with VC-Face that I desperately want to check out because it looks like it lets you do a lot more like fun animation stuff. And I am so all about that. Let's go ahead and let's get back to the Radio TV Solutions Meetup. You have no context for why I've included this picture, but there it is. So Wayne Radio TV, and really just kind of like all of Radio TV Solutions, were at PAX East. Balp, of course, lives in the area. Balp is a Boston boy. Scorpy had a panel. We'll get to that in a bit. But like, Wayne was there, Mike, Trog, Log, I believe. Holly was there. I was excited to meet Holly. We got there a bit late, This is why I didn't go to any other panels that day. There were a couple that I wanted to check out, but I really wanted to go to this. So we got there a bit late, and by that time it had morphed into less of a meetup and just more of like a line to say hi, get autographs, which I did get. They signed my badge. Not complaining though. We got to get to know the folks in the line, which was a lot of fun. They were some cool folks. The person ahead of me in line handed Wayne a picture of I Am Mean smoking a joint. Oh, sorry, correction. It was an actual real-life joint that was taped to the picture. I have included photo evidence here with a candy cane crudely pasted over the joint just to be sure I'm being TOS compliant. This was kind of an infraction point for the meetup, with the primary difference between what came before and what came after being that Wayne had now taken a couple hits off the aforementioned I Am Mean weed. Bro was just down by the pier, lighting it up. It's just fucking amazing. Shout out to 4 Fat Sluts on Blue Sky who gave him the picture. Yes, that is their Blue Sky name. They haven't posted since like 4 months ago, but we've added each other. It was so much fun, honestly. They're a great group of folks. They cast spells to help heal Natalie at her request, which you can see right here. Get everybody in there. 4 fat sluts in a fight? Yes. But you can see I was there with friend of the stream and roommate Opal, friend of the stream and roommate Austin, who I actually asked him to make sure this was okay. I've censored a face with his face, but with the top of his head stretched out, which is an emote on a server that a few of our friends have created. And we got the pizza. So Saturday was pretty good. Sunday, dawn of the final day. It was pretty good pizza, honestly. Was it good pizza? Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like there's on a certain level, most like independent pizza places taste pretty much exactly the same, unless you go like way into the North End and you get into like the Italian places, really. Where like they got like, you know, like the brick oven firing and stuff like that. But like most of the time, like most independent pizza places will have more or less the same kind of pizza. Hello, Natalie. I see you emoting at me from the other side of the room. How are you? What makes a disc beautiful? An exploration of forgotten disc-based video games in the age of digital distribution, presented by Scorpion. But you can actually see like the whole title. It's the exploration of forgotten disc-based media in this wretched modern age of digital distribution. And there's the man himself. I'm gonna be real, I didn't realize this was Scorpy's panel when I added it to my personal schedule for the con. I love physical media. This sounded like something right up my alley. Did you see the Signalis physical OST? Because it's beautiful. I have not yet. I actually mentioned to Scorpy that I hadn't realized this was his panel when I saw him at the meetup, and he was so excited to hear that because that's what he wants. That's what he wanted when he submitted this panel. Because this panel goes off the fucking rails, let me tell you. But at its core, has a surprisingly genuine message beneath the inherent absurdity of the panel's presentation about what we lose when we move from physical media to digital downloads, especially with regards to what that means for actual game ownership. It was absolutely hilarious panel. I was bequeathed a disc that just has listen closely written on it. I still haven't checked to see what's on it. Was told by Wayne after the panel that there might be nothing on it. Or it could be an illegal copy of a Dreamcast game. One or the other, really. I did get out of that panel kind of wanting to try to beat Scorpy's speedrun record for Planet 51 on the Xbox 360. So we'll see how much that brainworm takes root in my head. Now, it is up on his Twitch channel, which you can get to from that link. I mean, you can't click on that link. Like I said, I'll post all the proper links in, like, the VOD for this stream, as well as the highlight I'm going to make specifically of this presentation. But if you want to real quick type in that particular URL exactly as it's shown on screen, you too can check out the panel, where you can see me and Natalie really easily. We're right in the front row. I believe Opal is there as well. I like when people put their fingers in the hole of a disc to make it look like the character on the disc has an ass. Whoa. So this was the day that we actually got to go into the floor. Now, on the floor, there was only one game I really wanted to try, and it was Neon Inferno. I had been seeing ads for this game all weekend. It looked sick as fuck. Just gorgeous pixel work, really fun kind of like arcade run and gun Wild Arms style gameplay. It comes to us from Retroware, who make modern retro games. Whatever the fuck that means. You're an assassin for the family. Your enemies are the Yakuza and the NYPD. Surprising no one, the game is sick as fuck. It's so cool. It was actually kind of funny. The people ahead of us in line for the demo left without beating the boss. So when me and Opal got up there to try it out with the co-op, we beat the boss for them and then played through the demo again. Because it's just like, I wanted to experience from the first. Yo, how was that one? It looks sick as hell. It's so good. The demo for this one is available on Steam right now. You can go download it. In fact, I would highly recommend doing so. It's so fucking cool. It is dripping with sauce. And now about that Landfest booth and the repo stream that you may have noticed I did over the weekend. You may have seen this. So, long story short, the charity Landfest has had a booth where streamers could sign up for a slot to stream from the expo hall. There was also a walk-up station for folks who wanted to try it out. I was given this information on Friday, I think, and decided to check out the walk-up station on Sunday. In part just because, like, hello, Venom Lad. PowerPoint? I thought I left you back in public school. Nope. But in part because, like, I knew I wanted to check out the Wayne Radio TV meetup on Saturday. So on Sunday, the walk-up station was closed because they didn't get any walk-ups. The Landfest folks basically just kind of kicked into overdrive, helped me get set up on a station no one was using that had repo, because they had to a horror game ready to go on it, and I felt really bad the whole time because of how unprepared I was for all of this. They had to get me, like, set up through their network. They have my contact information now, which is neat. I'd be interested to see if they reach out to me at all. And there were several times where just like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. And then, like, I couldn't log into Steam. I wasn't sure if they had already gotten my stream key on there or not. It was a whole thing. But they were such good sports about it, and I really appreciated that. Here is Natalie watching me play Repo at the Landfest booth. Everything at that station is way nicer than anything I have at home. That being said, listening back to that stream, I think maybe the Yeti X that I use is slightly better sound quality, but I don't know. I don't really have an ear for this sort of thing. Now, the stations that we were using normally feature face cam. Now, I haven't done face cam shit for years, and I mean, if you want to go looking for that stuff, you can. I won't stop you, but I don't want face cam to be kind of like my sort of forward thing. They do have VTuber stations set up behind the curtains where people can stream more anonymously from the expo hall floor, but you need to sign up well in advance for that. And I assume all of your assets need to be loaded onto the computer. But overall, I felt it went pretty well. I am awful at solo repo. It definitely feels like the sort of game where I'm going to have a way better time playing with people who not necessarily know what they're doing, but that I can maybe trick into getting chased by monsters instead, so I can go ahead and grab all the loot. I will need to actually properly schedule one of these next time I have the same con as them, because I do want to do more of this. I thought it was a lot of fun. Part 3. Return. It's a long road home through the night. I am once again humbled by the enormity and beauty of nature. I feel as though better things are possible. If only we... Wait, hold the fuck up. What the fuck is that? So this is south of the border. What the hell am I looking at? Why is there a cartoonish Mexico theme park in South Carolina? Their mascot's name is Pedro? Their website is SOB Pedro? All of the employees are referred to as Pedro, regardless of actual name and ethnicity? Natalie described it as a racist Six Flags. The fuck do you mean none of the restaurants at the Mexico theme park have Mexican food? What the fuck? I'm losing my fucking mind. This is a real place. Like, it has a convention center? It can hold up to like 700 people? That tower is like a glass elevator that goes up to that huge-ass sombrero at the top. They have a Hats of the World exhibit? Or like a gift shop that sells Hats of the World? I assume so that they can get away with selling sombreros and be like, we're not racist, we sell hats from all over the world. They do boast having the largest reptile exhibit in the continental United States, which, alright, sure. A bitch loves an alligator. I'm bitching this scenario. I bought a fucking tanker. Which, like, that's cool as hell. This was a really fun trip. I came back from the cartoons to the bathroom to see 90s racism. Incorrect. 40s racism. It was a really good con. I bought a lot of stuff. If you're curious and you're asking yourself, hey Gage, how much did you buy at PAX East? How much did you spend? So just below the stream feed, there's a donation link. I'm not saying you have to give me anything, but, help? No. I'm doing fine. Yeah, no, I did buy a fucking tankard. It was really cool. There was a craft soda company there called Wild Bill's, and basically if you bought one of their like souvenir cups, you got free refills on it all day, and if you wanted more free refills the rest of the weekend, you just had to pay $10. I unfortunately didn't make use of the free refills nearly as much as I wanted to, mostly because on Saturday the lines were way too long, and then just didn't really get around to it on Sunday with how much we were like kind of trying to run across the floor, and there were only 2 stations, but some of that shit was good as hell. I need to find out where I might be able to buy that, or if I can get that delivered, because it was delicious. But yes, that is my presentation. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me on this journey to Boston. Sorry, no can help at the moment. Recently bought my first adoptable art character. Sick. That's really cool. May I see it? So we've got, if you can believe it, we have a video game to play. We are 55 minutes into this stream. Realistically speaking, 50 minutes since starting the stream proper. Oh shit, can I see a trick question? You can't post links in chat. Yeah, but like, Xander could post it elsewhere. We have a game we're supposed to be playing.
Don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut. Can't stop addicted to the shindig. Chopped off me says another wing beat. Choose not the life of imitation. Distant costs undo the reservation. The funky beast to what you pay for. This pumped feeling that you stay for. In time I want to be your best friend. This big love is listing on the west end.
I hit enter too fast. I meant to hold until gameplay anyways. Well, the good news is that with my 3D VTuber, I can actually dance myself. One day I'll have hand tracking. Yeah, I can grab the art. I'll just have to get out of bed. Feel ya. All right. So who remembers how to play this game? Because I certainly fucking don't. Oh god, triangle isn't direct. Alright, let me see. So, jump. Okay. That's right. We're kind of working on Immortals of Avium style rules where it's actually a shooter, but the guns is magic. Alright, circle is what activates magic parkour. Can I hit you from here? Oh, they see me.
Yeah, got him.
Some kind of a fucked up turkey? I don't know, man.
There it is.
Satisfactory work.
Oh, sick. I gotta go to the magic menu to enhance my magic. Upgrade. Fuck yeah. Plants are new. No, that's the turret. That's something we've had for a little bit. Are those Dominic's? Okay, I sent you a thing. I didn't have to get out of bed. Fuck them up. I'm homesick today. Bad headache. Oh, I'm sorry about your head. Sorry about your nog. Sorry, give me 1 second. Oh, you got one of the Bungeoneers! Which one did you get? Did you get I saw these and I thought about it. But I'm kind of there. I have a particular story that I'm focusing on right now that I am trying to like. I'll get into this in a bit. Friend of the stream, Zilla might be tuning in. Zilla, if you're tuning in, I apologize. You missed out on the PowerPoint. But you're just in here. You're here just in time for riveting gameplay. Ooh, funny chest. I said Zilla might not actually be here. Well, he messaged me, so I had been talking to them earlier, or talking to him earlier about how I was working on that PowerPoint basically all today. I thought you were about to talk about the Lemon Shark adoptable.
So different.
I was thinking about that one too.
This is like a
Okay,
fingerprint.
okay. Xanda. Listen, I haven't bid on that one, unfortunately, and I'm definitely not bidding on it now. I'm really happy for Chubsy. They definitely deserve to have the price of their adoptables skyrocket as much as they have. But 165 is a bit rich for my blood in terms of an adoptable. I'm going to be honest.
No two are alike. As unique as the individual mind it springs from.
Oh man, not another lock.
Oh, I forgot about these. Hold on. There we go. Ew, sliding puzzles. These ones are actually not too bad.
No possible.
Mostly because there isn't, like, a singular way to, like, actually beat them. Like, as long as you connect one to the other, then, like, you're good to go. But what was it? I took today off from work. And just kind of, like, as a result, just because, like, I had to fucking... I was in a car for hours. What are the jizz geysers for, and why do you have 76 of
What should
them?
we do?
Could pretend we didn't know
They are
this.
mana fonts. Why am I doing this?
Why are you
Oh.
so determined to get back to Newark?
New York. And because this place is insane.
Now's your chance.
On it!
Does that make things a little easier?
More than a little.
What the hell are these?
Might as well pocket this.
Those are big bitches. Said to the WA that just spent $1,300 dues. Oh, you bought... Okay, hold up. You bought the turret Bungeoneer. Nice, nice. But yeah, no, so I talked about this before. I have a particular story that I'm working on right now. That I am primarily working on it because I have a number of adoptables that I have.
Scylla oversaw the defense of all Athia.
She must have had quite an army.
Indeed. Stationed in the fortifications she was forever building.
Zilla! Welcome!
I sense a hostile presence. Be on your guard.
I'm glad to see you were able to
Yeah,
get into your
stay
account.
frosty. Got it.
You're just in time for Forspoken. I had to make a new Twitch. Oh, okay. Ain't that just the way? Aha. What the fuck am I looking at? Oh yeah, there's like weird lizard guys in this area, isn't there?
What's about you?
Very much in the room. Thanks. We got this. Right on the money. Let me at 'em. Coming. Huh. Yeah.
You know, Immortals of Avium wasn't a perfect game, but like the main character like actually shut up on occasion, at the very least.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Don't like the look of
Oop.
this.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Wait, did Immortals of Avium have like an he's right behind me moment?
Got you on your
I think it
toes
did.
now.
I don't think Frey's quite hit that yet. Oh god, how many of you are there? Goodness gracious.
Take it.
Okay. Oh god, there's more. Hold on. Pretty sure Immortal had that moment, yes, with the, what's her name? I don't know.
Reasonably, kiss my ass. That's a tall one.
Shall we? I'm sure there'll be treasure of some kind inside.
Yeah, and bad guys too. You really want to do this?
Loving the zippiness of the zooms. Movement feels pretty good. Combat is a bit repetitive, and just honestly, like, I'm gonna be realistic, I do not find the game interesting to look at in a lot of cases. What do we got here? The Broken, Part 1. Organisms coming into contact with the break are either killed by it or irreversibly changed. These altered creatures, the Broken, were originally dubbed the Corrupted by the cognizants who studied them, and it was noted that both formerly human and beastly Broken share some common traits. All are far stronger than they were pre-corruption, and all are driven by a mindless and instinctual rage. I do love the cat cape a lot. I've talked about this before. It is so loud. And I love that the hood says meow, 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 meow. Okay, so far there's nothing in here. It's kind of creeping me out. Oh, I got a nail design for this one. I'm hearing something.
I can use this.
Imagine having equipment your attacks were energy cats. That would make the game better. Considerably. Hello? What? Oh. Oh, I see.
Did one of them summon the others?
Probably. Nice to have friends to back you up, huh?
Don't tell me you're jealous.
1 second. Just go ahead and grab that real quick. Wow, that didn't do anything, I think. Oh!
Too slow. Get in there.
Another one.
Time for some pain. Eat it.
Do you think, like, she comes up with these as she's, like, magic parkouring along and just thinks that it's, like, the coolest thing that anyone's ever said in the history of forever?
Yeah.
Is there anybody else? Hello? Oh.
Yeah.
What's this? Ooh, a fervid cluster. It's just what I've always wanted. Cat explosion. Cat plow. Hold on, zombies. Gotta pick up these crafting... Stop. I absolutely would come up with one-liners while magic parkouring. We cannot reasonably blame her for that. Oop.
behold, the bitter brutality of the Freys.
Shut up.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Anyway.
In the mood for something in particular?
Maybe. You don't fucking know. God. Alright, defeat flying... Oh, we had like 3 flying enemies we could have used this on. Damn. Alright, hold up. Cure yourself of poison. Climb a certain distance. Improve stamina recovery rate. Okay. Build up power and damage enemies. 10,000. I'm guessing 10,000 damage. 3 more enemies with a single strike. Ooh, some of these sound really good and also pretty easy to get. Okay. I'm gonna go this one. Can we upgrade her zoominess to include some flips? I think it generally includes flips by default. But we can see if we can get some more flips going. Oh wait, well, hold up. What's this? The Tantas each created elite forces of fanatically dedicated soldiers, loyal only to them and hostile to any who might pose a threat to their beloved rulers, be they human, broken, or otherwise. It was no surprise, then, that these zealous souls charged into battle without a second thought when break beasts first appeared in Athia. Fucked up, if true. Can I jump out the window? Hard no. So if you can believe it, I only bought 2 video games at the video game convention. Part of me wants to make you guess which video games they are. So if you would like to throw out some guesses, you can. I will narrow it down a bit for you. They were games for the Xbox 360.
You don't have to breathe this stuff. Huh. What's this?
A second copy of Forspoken? Nope. Was one of them a Dreamcast title? Unfortunately, although I may have ended up with a pirated Dreamcast game. I don't know for sure. Oblivion. No, I already had Oblivion. Ah, damn. Okay. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you.
This looks like a big one.
What the fuck was that? Are you spitting at me? Fuck you.
Bullseye.
Inversion. Nope. Illegal casting. Well, because what it was, yeah, because Zilly, you weren't here for this, for the first hour of the stream, but basically, I went to a panel hosted by one of the folks from Radio TV Solutions, the folks who did like Half-Life VR, but the AI is self-aware, or Half-Life Alyx, but the gnome is too aware. And it was all about like the beauty of physical media, sort of told through like the language of humor, but also like very genuine in its appreciation of physical media. Good Xbox 360 game or bad Xbox 360 game? Both bad. And he just gave out loose discs. And I ended up with one that just says "Listen closely." I have no idea what's on it. He may not either. And I was told that it's either going to be nothing or a pirated Dreamcast game. And until I get it in a disc drive, I'm not going to know which it's going to be. Oh, I don't like these guys. There's too many of you.
You need to tailor your approach.
Whatever helps get this over with.
Was this a village?
Maybe once.
Not the most uplifting sight. Now's your chance.
Here it comes. Hey.
Get out of the way.
Gotcha.
The advantage is ours.
Yeah.
I might actually have this. Hold on. I might actually be kind of sick with it. Oh, come on.
What the hell?
Why did that not make any noise? Oh. Inter-enemy conflict. When enemies of different kinds meet, they may start fighting among themselves. Allowing them to wear one another down before jumping in to finish them off can often be a useful tactic.
Something tells me
I'm gonna go up here. Yoink.
Good. Let's use it to our advantage.
Y'all have fun. You said tailor your approach, not blacksmith your approach. Gaming, can I goldsmith my approach? What about leatherworking? But yeah, it was 2 bad Xbox 360 games. The main reason I got them was because there is a used game store that back when I was in college, their location was located across the highway from where I went to school. And more than once, I went over, perused their wares. In some cases, sold games in order to get a bit of extra money in my pocket, which I would unfortunately end up regretting a lot later in life, just because I kind of have like a complex now about like getting rid of just anything.
How's that? Come on. Oh, come on. Huh. Wait for it.
Are those bones I can see? Ugh, the break really does do some disgusting things. Anyway, charge it without thinking here, and you'll be on your back before you know it. And do not hang around if it looks like it's about to roar. Arctodus.
Let me at him. Okay. Ugh. Nope, not working. Yeah. All right.
We do not have anything else, Frey.
We got this. Yeah. That's not doing much. Like that. Too close.
Woo! I might be getting the hang of this, actually.
For my next trick. There you are. Ha. Ooh.
Hold on. I think the scatter shot seems to be helping us a little bit here.
Got him. Ha.
Fucking got him! Huh. You know how people say that? People say words.
On it. Die.
We did it. We get a new cape for that. I'm pretty excited for that.
Do I sense you getting better at this, Frey?
Bling's the Time Sweeper. I said a
How could I not?
bad 360
It's that or
game.
get my ass whooped.
Not the best Xbox original game.
Let's see. What do we got here?
Oh, that's gorgeous, actually. That's actually... Hold on. That is a damn good looking cape. This feels like a Squeenix game. Is it? It's funny you mention. This is, in fact, a Squeenix game. We might... Hold on. I want to see how this looks. Oh. Oh, that looks amazing. Gage, are we about to change from the cat cape? We're going to stick with the cat cape for a little bit, because I have more buffs on the cat cape currently. As you can see. But we might, when we get to a point that we can upgrade that cape and like mess around with its buffs, I might switch to that. Loopy Mountains gave you that impression. I don't think that this is made by like a core Square Enix team or anything.
Place is beyond saving.
But that being said, it was published by Squeenix. Like, it's a Squeenix game in that they put their name on it. It's not a Squeenix game in that it's going to have, like, a Final Fantasy XIV crossover anytime soon. Which reminds me, is it kind of weird that they haven't done, like, an FF7 Remake crossover event yet? I find that strange.
Intended her realm to be unforgiving in every respect.
Sounds about right. Man, I would so not have been Team Silo.
Oh my god. I'm gonna fucking scream. Okay, hold on. Burst shot level 3, fires force lumps of explosive rock that do. Ooh, yes, I will take that. Thank you. Where is... Hold on. Bind... Implant, okay. Vincent Valentino experience. Weren't they saving 7 for something special? I don't know. All I know is that I have been denied every opportunity to get the Cloud Strife hair. And quite frankly, at this point, I think they're doing it to me on purpose. Like, I think I'm being targeted.
Let me guess. You want to go see what's up the top?
Well, towers are built to be climbed.
Is this not one that I've already done? Yeah, I was just here. What the fuck? Yoink.
Okay, what do you say? Kick some ass, take some names?
Feeling a little bloodthirsty, are we?
What is she talking about? Oh. You like cats, don't you? Well, this one's both wily and wary. Don't charge it thoughtlessly. Stop it in its tracks first. Oh!
Yes, so shut up.
I can see them saving FF7R for when they want to get a big boom of new blood in the game. I mostly play solo games, so that could possibly get me back on 14. Ugh, ad. Kale, thank you for gifting a sub to G-Man. Okay, so there's another of these things over here, which I remember being pretty useful.
Wow, this
place sure is something.
Locked
That's what piqued
labyrinth.
one's interest.
Let's check it out. The subgun missed. Ripzil. I think you should be able to give subs to, like, specific people, I think. Anyways, I don't know if that's what they're waiting for, honestly. Cause like I think 14 is doing
This place gives me the creeps.
better than the last
I sense
7 remake game. There you go. Oh, Zilla, make sure to refresh the stream so that it locks in that you've got the sub. Kale, thank you for gifting the sub to Zilla, so that you won't get any more ads for the rest of the stream. I don't know how much longer we're going to actually be streaming for. It only might be for like another hour or so. But I also might run a little long just because we did spend nearly an hour on that
Not
PowerPoint.
a great welcome.
At least you got a welcome.
Got you on your toes now.
Look out!
Hold on, I'm gonna...
I got just the thing. Okay.
Whoops.
Huh. All right.
Oh,
Okay, okay. We're cooking.
Whoa.
Bro is
Hot
cooking
sweats here.
nothing. Alright.
These choices.
Wait, hold on. I've got 2 doors to go through? Is this some kind of roguelite thing? I'm gonna eat this sub. Scrumptious. One hoagie from Wawa.
What's this doing here?
Oh,
cares?
man.
I'll
So,
take it.
one thing I was a little... I was hoping to do is, when we were leaving, Boston... so on our way to Boston, we passed through my hometown, which was a lot of fun. Got to show folks around, show them like the house I grew up in, stuff like that. And
Maybe we should just tiptoe past them.
that's a lot. What if I did this instead?
Now's your chance.
On it. Damn. Ah!
Hold on, check this out.
Ah!
Fuck, yes. Okay.
Think fast.
Ow. Rude.
Ready for this? Huh. Time for some pain.
I'm still a little bummed that it's kind of turning into a zombie game just a little bit. But, like, this is kind of fun, actually. And I'm getting, like, a pretty good, like, combat rating.
Heads up. Take that. Aha! Huh. Yeah. Ah! Ah!
No mercy. Trophy earned. Cool. You love to see it. Ow. You hate to see that, though.
Yeah. Ready?
Send that over there. Nope, I'm not, I guess.
Whoa, that was a lot.
That was
Seems to be
odd.
over now.
Seems to be very reassuring.
Anyways, like I was saying. So we stopped at my hometown. And, you know, drove through. I got to like point out just like, oh, I remember this.
Let's get back in there.
Nice. Always
This
good
is
in a
where I
pinch.
grew up,
Do try
things
not
like
to
that. I remember like fishing in this lake, so on and so forth. And part of me had wanted to pass by again on the way through because one thing that I used to get back home that I don't think I've ever been able to see to like get anywhere else. I feel like I've talked about this on stream. Is a hamburger sub, which is basically it's several small hamburger patties on a length of sub sandwich bread with just whatever toppings you want, and it's absolutely fucking delicious every time. I love it. What do we got in here? This is supposed to give me a new cape. Oh.
Fooling around this time. This is not going to be easy.
I got this.
Whoa.
Eat it.
Oh, he's a punk, actually.
Let me at him.
Oh, he a bitch. What? Hold on.
Ah,
I'll keep you safe from harm forever, you know.
why the hell not? This is gonna sting.
Okay. I'm admittedly not really getting my, like, dodges here properly. And that's on me.
Yeah.
But, like, God, look at that health drop.
All right.
I think the weird squid was like a... Oh,
Just about.
I'm alright. Okay, we're fine, we're fine.
Take that. You're toast.
Frey,
Like,
are you
what
still
was
with me,
that?
Frey?
Would have been really funny if, haha, he's a bitch and he kills you. It would have been really funny. Didn't happen, though.
Way too close.
Are you over leveled or I don't know, honestly. Like it's weird. I don't think I'm over leveled. Maybe I'm just really good at the game. What kind of meat rock are you walking on? Oh, there was a... Okay, I have this issue with conventions where, like, it used to be... I remember my very first PAX East, I took a lot of pictures. Cosplayers, people on the floor, or, like, e-celebs, such and such. But at the same time, I had a digital camera when I did that. And now I just... don't feel quite as compelled to do the same like with a phone, unfortunately. So I'm thinking the next time that I want to go to a big convention like that, I might try and have like a separate camera. Like they got those like cameras that do like they got those like newer cameras that do like Polaroid instant development film. Ancient Altar Inscription 2. To those who would seek to save Athia, Susurrus filled our skies with fire and ash. The mere sound of the creature's wings filled our hearts with cold terror. Athia suffered. Athia burned. Sometimes I have to recondition myself to take a photo of con. Yeah, it doesn't feel like... I don't feel like I'm taking a picture with my phone, you know? I feel like I'm just pulling my phone out. I feel like if I had a separate camera, I would take way more pictures at conventions. Cat KP mode. That's just meaty. Ah.
Say, don't you think this demon sounds an awful lot like our old friend?
The dragon, you mean? I thought so too.
Seems pretty susurrus. Super susurrus. Ooh, I like that. Halves poison damage when health is low. I love the cat cape, but I am really glad that a lot of the other capes that you can get in this game seem to be, like, very solid aesthetically. Like, so far, every single one that I've gotten has been just, like, a moment of, oh, am I going to need to start wearing this? Hello, Venom Lad. Gage, you dabble in ZZZ, right? Why do some of the characters sound different now? Well... since you ask... Okay. So there is a thing going on in voice acting right now where a number of gaming companies are refusing to bring basic AI protections for the table. Because the VA's got fired for union. It's not even necessarily that they're being fired for unionizing, honestly. Like, they're not... like, some of them aren't union. But they are asking for very basic AI protections so that they can, like, you know, not get their shit jacked, their shit being their voice. And because they're refusing to, like, sign new contracts and continue doing the work, MiHoYo is replacing them with people who will. It has happened to several characters now. I know it has happened to Kaleda, Grace, Rena, Lycon. Oh, excuse me. Lycon, Soldier 11. I want to say that's all of them. Oh, 1 second, folks. Where's your water at, hon? No, I'm not muted. Yes, of course. Alright, I will be right back, everybody. Alright, we're back. 1 moment. I'm just gonna reset my model here. Okay, 1 second. I'm just gonna re-catch up here. Pausing it. Oh man, I got someone in the Discord server trying to both sides of the MiHoYo VA thing. Lycon I knew, but I was doing missions and was using Kaleda and switched to Grace. It was like, your voice be different. Yeah, some of the new voices are just worse. Like, I feel a little bad doing that to people that are just trying to do their jobs, but also, like, some of them are worse. Like, I don't like Soldier 11's new voice. I think it's not quite as good. But yeah, so basically there was a period of time where there were like a bunch of characters who just did not have new voice lines. Lycon and Rena were a couple of the big ones. Grace as well, so on and so forth, and then just eventually they just have new voice actors. And that is why I am predicting that Jane Doe is next on the chopping block, because Jane Doe has no voiced quality timelines. If you go to do quality time with Jane Doe, just none of the lines that would normally be voiced are voiced. So I am 80% certain she is on the verge of being recast. Soldier 11's voice is really off. Grace Kaleda sound okay, but I gotta hear him more. I will say Lycon's new voice actor isn't bad or anything. Like, the situation sucks, but at least the new voice isn't... Like, I feel bad saying that, but it's just like, I do gotta listen to these people read the worst fucking lines imaginable. So, like, they might as well sound good, and that's why it sucks when they don't. Alright, okay. I was talking about something earlier. So, the new story that I'm working on, which I have currently titled Wicked Game. I'm still not 100% certain if that is going to be the final title, but I am definitely feeling it for sure. I started it mainly because I had, like... Hold up.
Wait for it.
That went well.
You bet it did. That asshole's going nowhere.
That kind of magic requires more range.
Kinda guessed that already.
We got this.
Hold on.
Ooh, yeah.
Anyways, what was I saying?
That's the stuff.
I had a
Now let's
handful
find something we
of
can really get our teeth into.
adoptables kicking around that I wasn't really doing anything with. So I thought to myself, what a wonderful world. And I didn't know, like, how seriously I was going to take the story, necessarily. Am I stuck? No, I'm fine. But then I really started, like, thinking about, like, I started doing world building and, like, thinking up, like, plots and shit like that. What is this?
Another Partha.
A common find, apparently.
Why not? Honestly, don't know what I'm gonna do with this Bungeoneer. Timberly gives Frey the ability to regenerate health.
Rolled a... whatever that is.
That's pretty good. One thing that's kind of nice about adoptables is just like you've got something just like on hand. Or like if you ever see someone just like, oh, give me, I want to like do some doodles, give me your OC and I'll doodle them. Then like you've got like something sort of like easy just to kind of hand off to them. Unless you're like me, where you suddenly write a bunch of like lore and fiction surrounding an adoptable that you've purchased, and now you need to get new updated art of them that properly reflects that, rather than the original art that they came with. In which case you need to reach out to your friend and be like, hey, can you draw me a quick and dirty Ref Sheet X-esque piece? And your friend is just like, yeah, sure, I just gotta finish law school first. The corruption prevented Sila's orders from reaching the garrisons, and in the absence of their Tanta's leadership, confusion reigned among the ranks. One unit leader made ready to evacuate as many citizens as he could to Sepal, but was stopped when certain of his men disagreed, arguing that their own safety was surely paramount. I got a cute clown bunny, and I haven't done a lot of clown art with her. Oops, I turned her into a short stack wrestler instead. It'd be like that sometimes. I got... Let me go ahead and show this off, actually. Because I might as well. It's stream appropriate. Hold on. Tiramasca. So I bought this character from an artist like years ago. Character's working name was Mascarpone. Which, you know, cute. Didn't do anything with her for years. She just kind of sat in my back pocket. I didn't really have anything I could do with her, honestly. So when I started coming up with Wicked Game, and I made the decision that I wanted to use a lot more of these whatchamacallums, adoptables that I had kicking around, I decided to take her and make her kind of like effectively the main character of the story. But since Wicked Game is like a fantasy story, I need to give her kind of a bit of an overhaul, because like you saw, she's got kind of a cabaret thing going on in the original art. So, you know, between like a guy wants to get out. Oh yeah, Moose is trapped in here. 1 second, everybody. Moose, let's go. Yeah. All right. What's Wicked Game about? I can get into that in a bit. Let me finish reading this first. Though they had been deprived of their ruler's guiding hand for only a short while, discipline among the well-drilled ranks deteriorated rapidly nonetheless. So, Wicked Game is a fantasy story. I'd previously... Morphkind was veered a little bit more in the realm of sci-fi. But more recently, like, I have been, you know, like, rewatching Lord of the Rings stuff a lot. Checking out Rings of Power. War of the Rohirrim just came out. I watched Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves a bunch, so I definitely had fantasy on the mind, and there were a number of common tropes in like fantasy stories that always bugged me. I've talked about this on stream before. I don't like when magic systems are over-explained. It bothers me a lot because it feels like... I always feel like magic should be sort of like this wild card kind of thing almost. But a lot of things that have magic, and I'm like, I get the necessity of doing it. Sometimes you genuinely can't have just like a wild card sitting on the sideline like that. You do need to come up with like some kind of a system for it. But a lot of times those systems feel like very restrictive. Like it can be anything from just like very basic, like, oh, everyone has like a pool of mana, you need to take a rest after doing so many spells. It can be physically exhausting or spiritually exhausting, all the way up to like just straight up there are heavy restrictions on what spells you can cast. So one of the things that I wanted to do with Wicked Game is basically just kind of like let the concept of magic sort of like go ham a little bit, where it's just like there isn't a huge amount of restrictions on what can be done. There are implied like specialties and like studies and stuff that you need to do in order to do certain magic, but it's not like it's something where I'm not going to spend like an entire chapter describing the like intricacies of how like healing magic and necromancy are connected in one way or another, just so that I could potentially have a scene where a character summons like a giant bone fist out of the ground to turn a massive hulking bug monster into paste, you know? Sometimes it's just a question of just doing it and just kind of like doing the work ahead of time to be like, yes, this makes sense that it is something that this character does or can do, you know? And then also it's just kind of a question of just like, I like weird fantasy. I like when fantasy gets strange. I recently read, I say recently, it was just kind of like within like the last couple of years. Like I've been reading stuff like the Locked Tomb series, the Grave of Empires trilogy, that are, Locked Tomb is kind of skirts the line between like fantasy and sci-fi, but it definitely has a lot of fantasy elements, and it has a lot of really cool fantasy elements where it's just like, yes, the main character is a necromancer. What does that mean? It means that she can work bone meal into a dish, and then if she feeds it to you, she can make skeletons rip through your fucking internal organs. And it's just like, fuck, all right. So like that's kind of like the place that Wicked Game came from. Oh, my model's stuck. Hold on. Like, Wicked Game kind of came from, like, enjoying stories like that. Enjoying, like, Lord of the Rings, Dungeons and Dragons, Locked Tomb, Grave of Empires. And the story as it currently is focuses on the character of Tiramaska. I'm going to go ahead and throw what I described as kind of like a quick and dirty character ref sheet-esque picture that I commissioned from friend of the stream Audrey. It's obviously not like a full character ref, but like, you know, you get the colors, you get a sense for the character's personality, the outfit, that sort of thing. Wicked Game primarily focuses on Tiramaska. And Tira is a character who is dealing with kind of a lot. She's finding herself distracted a lot on her various jobs that she has been taking out on the frontier, which is an area of this world that is on the border of a large kind of untamed woodland. And the reason that there is this frontier town that's popped up on the edge of this woodland is that way off into the woods, closer to like the mountainous area, towards like the western part of the island, or I say island, western part of this like big continent, is what's called the Hivelands. Essentially, the way that it worked, or the way that the lore goes, is that decades prior, a being fell from the sky called the Mother of the Hive, who began to sort of spread out from where she landed, essentially terraforming the land, and causing sort of like untold ecological devastation. This frontier town popped up. It doesn't really have a name. It just kind of sort of like built up overnight, and there isn't really a... It was never intended to be sort of like a permanent settlement. It's basically just there as sort of like a way station. But ultimately became more than that. But it popped up as sort of like a staging point for excursions into the Hivelands to sort of like measure their sort of gradual growth year over year, and see if there is see if there is anything that can be done to stop their spread. Tira is one such adventurer. She wasn't always an adventurer. She has a whole backstory that might not be TOS compliant, so we're not going to get into it. But she is one such adventurer who takes jobs to sort of like not always escort excursions into the Hivelands, but sometimes just to help make the surrounding area safe just from beasts, raiders, brigands, etc., etc. But she finds herself distracted more often than not, which ends up with her getting her ass killed over and over and over again. Or sometimes getting herself captured and compromised. So she ultimately decides that what she needs is she needs to put a party together. So she recruits an elemental mage named Zadak, and a pugilist named Avalon. I don't have quick and dirty refs for them yet, but they are also adoptables that I have purchased previously. Actually from the same artist that did Tira. Now, unfortunately, Zadak and Avalon also have a tendency to get distracted while attempting to assist Tira, which goes on to get her ass killed even more. And healing and resurrection magic in Wicked Game is very robust. I've talked about this before. This is the story where as long as your brain or heart manages to make it through relatively unscathed, you can generally be brought back from quite a bit of damage. So as part of this, Tira decides... oh, this is the one with the fucked up healing magic. I thought that was Morphkind. No, Morphkind is more along the lines of, like, kind of a more... I don't know, grounded sci... Not really grounded sci-fi, but sci-fi in general. So Tira's wondering, like, what can be done about this, because if she's going to be getting her ass killed out in the frontier constantly, then she needs some better system than needing to have pieces of her
hard choice to make, I'm sure,
brought back to the frontier town to get put back together in the Resward, basically.
Look out!
Okay. Where did you go? Where's
that?
And this is where oh. Okay. This is where Tira meets a
Eat shit. Looks like
not
we're done here.
disgraced,
doesn't it?
but a less than well-regarded prodigy healer, whose name is Zora Kordov, I believe, is what I gave her for a name. Again, another adoptable that I bought from a different artist, actually. She also has a quick and dirty character ref-esque piece that Audrey did a while back. So, Zora was basically kicked out of the Healers Guild. And as such is looking for work. So Tira decides to bring her on as part of the party. Gets her set up with a contract and everything. And she proves to be an incredibly competent healer. Up to and including being very adept at res magic. Generally able to get a person pieced back together fairly quickly. And in situations where it is not necessarily possible to get them put together quickly, at the very least, finding a stopgap solution until a proper solution can be managed. One of the short pieces that I have written
Right in the sweet spot.
has her basically she loads Tira up with a spell to increase her adrenaline, and it causes Tira's heart to burst, like actually explode inside her chest cavity. Now, while a heart can be repaired and even regrown as long as you've got, like, you know, most of the stuff surrounding it ready to go, this happened in the heat of battle, which unfortunately is not the best environment for remaking a person's heart. That particular piece ends with Tira getting back on her feet, getting back in the battle, and turning the tide, helping them to win. And then moments later, it's revealed that Zora did not actually manage to put her heart back together. She had to manually connect all of her arteries to each other and is actively using her magic to continue pumping blood through Tira's body without her heart in place. So, you know. Ooh. Defeat boss within time limit. Get some mana. Forever eliminate the experience. It was like that when she got there. What's the healer's name again? Zora? Xora. Zora. Zora Kordov. Yeah. Back itchy. Hold on. Is she showable or... I'm an 18+ stream. Hold on, let me double check. So I'm trying to think about, like, games that I'm allowed to play on stream. DMC4 is considerably a game that I could play on stream, so I should be able to show this. So this is Zora Kordov. Oh, hold on. Here we go. This is Zora Kordov. Now you may be wondering, why is such a talented healer kicked out of the healing guild? And I feel like this little caption right here in the bottom left should probably tell you everything that you need to know. See, Zora's thing is that Zora is interested in pushing the limits of healing magic. Up to and including the possibility of using it for offensive purposes. I'm talking, like, overloading the amount of calcium in a person's body to fuse their bones together. I'm talking... Natalie has thought about a lot of this with regards to her Warrior of Light, Maya Capra, and the sort of, like, fucked up shit healing magic could do. Like, basically tricking your body into thinking that it's not getting enough air and thus inhaling so much that your lungs burst. That sort of thing. Healing magic to the point where if you maneuver yourself into a particular position, you can essentially tear someone's body apart at the cellular level. Like, that's the sort of shit that Zora is interested in. And, as I said, one could go so far as to say that Zora's interests in the ways that magic can be used to influence the healing body, at times, borders on necromancy. Occasionally. Now, I'm not going to say that this is just like, you know, just kind of a casual interest of Zora's. She does actually have reasons within the story for wanting to...
Those insane soldiers, you mean?
The very same. Try not to get murdered, won't you?
I'll try.
I'll see what I can do.
There are reasons within the story, within her backstory, for why she would want to focus on this.
Sylar ruled over one joyless realm, huh?
Or did she make it joyless, I wonder?
Want to look into this kind of application for healing magic. I'm casually interested in her reasons. I can't give everything away. If I give everything away, then there's no reason to write the story. You know, the more you tell me about your OCs, the more it makes sense why you like Vivian so much. Vivian? Which Vivian are we talking about? Oh, from Zenless Zone Zero. Yeah, no, I fucking love Vivian. She's like the best character that they've had in a while. But I would say that the current part of the story that I'm working on with Wicked Game, with like the Hive Lands and the Mother of the Hive being like the main villain and everything, is definitely focused mostly on the relationship between Tira and Zora. Which isn't to say that Zadak and Avalon don't have like their own things going on. They definitely do. And I, have a lot planned for them as well. But I've conceived further stories in which I'm constantly doing this. This is one of the issues that I always have when I'm writing things, is I constantly conceive things in trilogies. Which, I mean, a trilogy is just, like, neat. It's beginning, middle, end. It's your standard story structure. But, like, I'm constantly doing this. I did this with Morphkind so goddamn much, and I have a whole plan for Morphkind. Literally, the I could fix her, but whatever's wrong with her is so much hotter type. I do like Vivian. She's a lot of fun. She's a fun character. But, I've got, you've got So Zadak as a character. So Zadak as a character is someone who is very closed off, I would say, like intentionally abrasive, for his own particular reasons, while also being like very kind of like secretive about like what kind of past he has and things like that. It doesn't matter he doesn't feel like it should matter where he came from. He's here now, and he's better than you, generally speaking. He's a brat, basically. So, Gage, is it normal to say that I want Zora to rearrange my insides? Incredibly normal. She might make you sign a waiver, though. I'm just saying. She'll put you back. She'll put things back together. But I can't guarantee that she won't make you feel all of it. I'll sign the waiver with your name. And then Avalon. Avalon's one of the ones that I've put the most thought into, I feel like, especially with regards, especially in part because Avalon, the bulk of Avalon's story is in like the second big storyline that I have planned. I have planned. I've barely written the first one. And this gets into some fun world building stuff, where the world of Wicked Game is flat. The way that it works is that it is shaped like a big coin, basically. And you've got the overside, which is where the first story takes place, with the Mother of the Hive and the frontier and everything. And then you've got the underside, which is where Avalon is from. Now, on the east and west sides... Hold on. I said something earlier. The Mother of the Hive landed on the east side of the continent. So on the east and west sides, the overside and the underside are... I'm trying to picture this in my mind's eye. I might need to draw something up. So if you're looking at it from the top down and you're on the overside, the whole continent is a big circle. And I'm knocking cans over. The whole continent's a big circle. On the eastern side, there is an ocean of lava that stretches on for as far as the eye can see. And on the western side, there is an ocean of water that stretches as far as the eye can see. Where they meet, you get like rock formations and so on and so forth, right? The east side used to be called the Blast Lands. It is now the Hive Lands, which is where the Mother of the Hive took root and is slowly expanding all over the overside. She hasn't gotten to the underside yet, because it's difficult to get there from where she's at. Now there is connection and trade between the overside and the underside, and like I said, Avalon comes from the underside. He was, in fact, exiled from the underside. He was kicked out for reasons that are unclear, but are things that I want to get into with the second part of the story. And this is kind of where something I was getting at a little bit earlier. This story was mainly conceived because I had a bunch of these adopts kicking around and I wanted to do something with them. And what's ended up happening... Hello.
It looks like one of those cat...
Oh, shit. That's a cat with wings. I want to see what this is. Look at this baby. Look at this weird baby. Huh?
Whoa. Is that a cat?
It's a baby. It's a weird looking baby.
In the middle of the break?
I assume that is no ordinary cat.
Can I pet it? Are you gonna let me pet it? The Tanta's familiars. The Tanta's familiars will appear near the monuments to them that stand in various spots across Althea. When you find one, try to also find the associated familiar. Finding familiars. They will be shy at first. They will disappear at the first hint of anything they perceive as a threat. Hold L2 to get low and try to approach as slowly as you can. Exclamation mark will appear to attract your attention. You'll need to wait for it to disappear. Okay. Oop. Hi, baby. Oh. It's okay. It's okay. Please tell me you had a funky little kitty friend. God, I hope so. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh. We got him. We got him.
Aw, good kitty.
Goodness, you're...
Good fucked up cat. Love you. Oh my god. Their name is Claire. One of Tanta Silas' familiars, he can usually be found prowling around Praenos, seemingly uncowed by the break. Claire once served as Silas' second pair of eyes, patrolling the realm and reporting back to her if trouble was afoot. When she lost her mind at the break, he left her side to ensure that the people of Praenos made it to Sipal safely, returned home immediately afterward, perhaps to watch over his beloved mistress from a safe distance. Oh, what a good baby. We got stealth mode kiss wife, now we got stealth mode pet kitty. Yeah.
Something
Okay.
about that cat felt different, don't you think?
Funny you mention that.
Was it the
I
pointed
was
tail
thinking I
or the
detected
wings?
A hint of Tanta magic.
Huh. Could they be connected somehow? Wonder where it went.
The familiar is now fond of Frey and will visit her at Pilgrim's Refuges. Oh my god. Oh my god. This game immediately became a 10 out of 10. I don't care what awful dialogue they throw at me or how many boring, empty environments they put me through. Okay. I won't say 10 out of 10. I have to be better than this. But oh my god. Okay, let's fucking go. What was I saying? So, I am running into this issue that I constantly have every time I write a new story. Like, not even just the fucking
Alright.
Jesus Christ. Ah!
On it. Huh. Die.
Not even just like the constantly like thinking of things in terms of like trilogies or anything like that. It's the fact that if I have a story, I constantly want to fill that world with characters. So I will start just like designing characters for every little thing. This is an issue that I ran into with Morphkind like fairly quickly, and it's something that like I keep doing this, you know? I started Morphkind like with the idea just like, okay, I've got a core cast of characters, I'm going to try and keep it just to them. And now I have a Word document that I had to put together just to keep track of everybody. Like this shit is dire.
How are you holding?
Wait, what is that?
Shall we take a look?
Flashback. Certain monuments will allow you to take on challenges that will earn you mana and other rewards if you complete them. You can attempt them as many times as you like. Blah. I don't know. Monument to Wisdom. Take a closer look at the monument. I think I will pass for right now. And I'm starting to feel that with Wicked Game, where it's just like, right now, I started with these 4 characters and the villain, right? In the process of conceiving more of the story...
Oh, that's got him.
This looks like a big one.
Ow, bitch. Ow, bitch.
Let me at it.
You might want to try and avoid getting hit for a little while.
Oh, might I? There it is.
In the process of conceiving more of the story, I have started creating more characters, and like I can feel it happening. I can feel it happening all over again. Where it's just like, okay, here's this character from this one's past. Here is this villain for this next part. I do have a really cool villain in mind that I came up with just like within the last couple weeks. Zilla knows all about it. I've been talking to him about it. He's been kind of helping me with the character's creation a little bit. It's just like
For my next trick.
bouncing ideas and stuff. And it's been really good. And like it's a like I really like it. I really like this character I'm coming up with.
Good night.
But it's also a question of I can feel it happening again, because now just like, oh, maybe I create this character's parents and like this character who is part of this character's backstory, this shopkeeper, and it's just like, oh no. It is a constant battle between I want to make sure that this world feels lived in. Monument to Love. Vivis Cave. Oh god, they got caves. Vivis. Ruins of Svetlo. A photo spot. Middle Praenos Hollow. Ooh! Is that... Hold on. Fort Krev. What are the... Oh, I should go over here. Because the respites are, like, also, like, fast travel points. So I definitely want to make sure I get as much of it as possible. What I learned over time is that a character wouldn't immediately aid in the main plot. I need to circle back to my main cast.
Yeah.
And I get that. I do.
That's what made it so perfect for toughening up soldiers.
But the other problem is that
And so not perfect for a relaxing getaway.
I really like designing characters, is the thing. Like, some of the earliest stuff that I did for, like, my main core cast of characters was I designed their outfits. Because I love designing outfits for characters. I love thinking just like, okay, what clothes are we putting this character in? And it's part of that thing where it's just like, I do all this to some degree to like be prepared for like commissioning art of the character, where it's just like, if I have as much, like that outfit, those outfits that you saw like Tira and Zora in the art that I put up on screen, those were outfits that I designed. Like, I came up with those outfits, the coloration of them, how all the pieces fit together, the designs of the weapons, all of it. Baby!
Hey, that cat.
Hey, it's that cat.
Here.
Oh, that's so sweet. Hey, little guy.
Let me pet it again. Let me pet it again. Let me pet it again.
Yeah, I bet
Fucking
that hits
got
the
him.
spot. Huh. What's this?
Eight 12/38/74, the Rotary Building. Settler's Diary, Village of Reeve. The war shook our world to its foundations. There can be no denying that. The towns and villages in which our ancestors lived for countless generations are now little but dust. Yet even for those of us forced to build our lives anew, there is hope. Though all was taken from us, we are beginning to feel settled again, happy even, though we never thought it possible. And with the coming harvest, I even dare to dream that we might be blessed with bounty enough to share with those less fortunate than ourselves. Figured if I do well enough with the main plot and get a thing out there and it's liked, maybe I can have side stories set out for
Dreaming
them.
of a new life. Yeah, I can sympathize with that.
A heady mix of hope and anxiety. It's never easy upping sticks and moving.
Home of Heroes Refuge. Interesting. Middle Praenost Western Refuge. Also like 17 years into the story. God, I've been working on Morphkind since like college.
Actual treasure.
A
Anything
nugget.
Intriguing.
Oh shit, a nugget. Yeah, this one.
You'd best be prepared before we head out.
I sleep. Oh! This is the greatest game. Fuck anyone who said anything bad about this game. This rules. No, Gage. Don't let they're doing this to you on purpose.
What was I gonna make again?
Surge magic recharge rate boosted when cuff blocks can now be crouched and upgraded for the damage have. Okay. Ooh. That is a good boost, actually. Hold on. Okay, let's do a critical damage boosted. Critical hits can boost attack. Is pretty good. Auto heal effect triggered when enemy is defeated, also pretty good. I like critical. I'm gonna be honest. I've been like favoring a lot of like critical stuff, by which I mean like critical attacks, damage things. The kitty's nap with you. You can cuddle the kitty. I'm losing my mind. All right, we're gonna run this cloak for a little bit, I think. As much as I like the cat cloak, I think this cape fucks, actually. It really does. Cannot stress, this is an incredible look. Or cannot overstress, I guess. But yeah, it does really just kind of come down to the fact that, like...
There. Got you on your toes now.
How are you feeling?
A whole lot better than I did a minute ago.
Character design is just fun.
All right.
Like, I just like doing it. Like... But that's kind of where the danger is. What? Did he follow me? Oh my god. Oh my god, the kitty's following me. The kitty's doing parkour with me! This may be the greatest game of all time. My Mothapalooza. Parkour. Let's go!
They're so dry.
An outsider. She really didn't want anyone having any fun.
Laugh it up. You don't have to breathe this stuff. Whoa! Yeah, right on the money.
Well, do something.
So we gotta do 10,000 damage with this particular spell?
That kind of magic requires more range.
Kind of guessed that already. You're toast.
Okay. It just hangs out! I love this. If we, like... If the implication is that we find more of these, and they're just, like, constantly hanging out with us...
Gotcha.
That's gonna make everything worth it.
Yeah. Ready for this? Right in the sweet spot.
What sweet spot? Girl, what are you talking about?
Think that's all of them.
Seems like it. Nice work.
Evolution of Cat Lady, right down to her cat keeper cape.
Might as well pocket this.
I don't know. It hasn't gotten quite as bad as I feel like it's gotten in Morphkind, or as bad as it got with Morphkind just yet in terms of, like, character creep. Ooh, okay. Okay. Now we're dealing with like a proper slide puzzle. Where like, it seems like there's just like one solution here. But we did it.
Ugh, what a
You
pain.
can always cut shit out. Yeah, but I have a problem with that
Something good
too.
inside.
Because like with Morphkind, it did end up like I did end up like planning to do like some smaller stories with kind of like a more like sort of personal character focus.
Take that! Oh. Ah,
Now's your chance.
on it! Let me at him. Uh-oh. Oh, damn.
If I had like actually continued writing that, which I mean like I might still go back to that someday. I don't know. I was talking to friend of the stream Opal about this. One thing that I kind of want to try doing at some point is actually writing streams. I know that someone I know through Catpole, Inujuju, does writing streams. Where like I feel like that might help me with like kind of like kicking into things. A writing stream? How does that work? I'm curious. Basically like any other stream. You know, I boot things up, I show a feed of my Microsoft Word, and I just start typing. Doesn't matter having too many characters rather than having adequate content to include those characters. Depths of Corruption, Preynost. Yeah, okay. We haven't done like anything like main story related. What the fuck am I looking at? The Depths of Corruption. These are the places where the break is most highly concentrated and consequently the deadliest. This means tougher enemies and a tougher challenge overall, but you'll have to find your way through if you want to reach the Tantus Castles. There's only one thing to do when you're ready. Dive on in! Oh boy. Like, I don't remember diddly about why I made Fireball. I gave her a backstory and design, but I can't judge it. Most polished ever being some random race car driver.
Let me guess. More weird break-related shit.
It would seem so.
Whoa! Huh? What the? I'm floating.
I suppose it must be something to do with how heavy the brake is here.
Huh. No way. This place is so weird.
Yes, yes, I'm sure it's intensely amusing. Now, shall we be on our way?
Whoa! I'm floating! As if that's the weirdest fucking thing that's happened in like the last... what week she's been here? Jump.
Wait, am I breathing underwater?
The thicker the brake becomes,
What's that?
the less the rules of the normal world.
I got a moment, yeah.
Well, not.
Oh yeah, it is getting pretty late, huh? We might
Much is
need
gonna surprise
to...
me
oh,
after this.
the kitty. So this is like a whole thing. So we might actually need to go ahead and call it for now. I'll go ahead and give it till the end of the ad break so I can do a proper sign off. The Citadel. Is that where we are? I never would have guessed. Oh, I'm in danger, apparently.
Yeah. Ha! Yeah. All right. Incoming.
Alright, well, I guess while I'm doing this and just waiting for the ad break to end, I'll go ahead and start. I want to thank everybody for coming by the stream. I hope you all had a good time. I know I did. If you enjoyed the stream, you can subscribe here on Twitch. We have special emotes for subscribers.
Heads up.
Okay. Okay, I should probably, like, pause and save. If you want to keep up with the stream in the future, you can follow me on Blue Sky or Tumblr at AcidXShark, where I post all the streams as they happen, or you can follow me on YouTube at AcidXShark, where I post all the streams after they happen. I'll go ahead and get the repo stream up as well soon, too. Art for the stream was done by Audrey and B of Team Capel. You can find on Blue Sky, Twitch, Tumblr, YouTube, VGen at Team Capel. That's TEAMCATPLE. They do fantastic work. Highly recommend checking their stuff out. Highly recommend commissioning them. If you do commission them, please use the VGen. Don't email them. Model was done by Teva, who you can find on Blue Sky at Teva Meow. That's TEVAMEOW. Also does fantastic work. Highly recommend checking their stuff out. Rigging done by V747, who you can find on Patreon at that. Upcoming streams. What do we got coming up? Tomorrow is going to be Final Fantasy XIV, where we're going to be continuing the Shadowbringers. What are they called? Roll quests. That's it. We're going to be doing the melee DPS, physical DPS role quests. And on Friday, probably more Darksiders 3. And Saturday, oh boy, Saturday, we're starting Bendy and the Dark Revival. Because that was what the wheel decided. We'll continue Forspoken next Wednesday. I'm going to see... One of the VTubers from that panel that I went to is streaming right now. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we can go ahead and raid Xeris. But yeah, otherwise, we're going to go ahead and see if we can go ahead and raid her. I want to thank everybody for coming by the stream, and I hope you have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Same shark time, same shark channel. Take care, everybody.